Hey, Dallas. How are you guys feeling today? The mission of Passion Dallas is to connect the community and the culture of our city with media. And in response to the recent challenges and crisis that we are all facing collectively together, each day, Monday through Friday at 3 o'clock, we're going live with a local entrepreneur who's using innovation and trying to use strategy to cope with what's happening. And today we have a very special guest. She's one of my personal favorite people on the planet. Her name
Thank you,
is,
Kelly.
she's wonderful. Her name is Padmini Sharma. And Padmini, alongside with her partner Rose, are the co owners, and Padmini is the founder of Jester and Genius. They work with brands on building their brand story. And today, Padmini is going to talk to us about coping in today's new normal, or what we think it's going to be, because I think none of us quite know, do we? We don't quite know what it is, do
Not at
we?
all. Yeah.
So, Padmini, thank you for being here. I
Oh,
always
thank
love.
you for inviting me to talk.
It's a pleasure. I think we all need a forum right now. I think we need a place to talk, and we need a place to go to seek out each other's advice and really just lean on each other. So
Hmm.
I appreciate that so much. Um, Talk to us a little bit about what this new normal looks like, and
Yeah.
in your mind so far.
Yeah. So every day I wake up thinking, oh, I was in this most surreal, futuristic kind of dream. And it's not, it's reality. And I think the new normal is, I think as everyone is aware, is characterized by complete uncertainty.
Yeah.
Uh, I think we literally don't know what tomorrow will bring, when things can go back to the way they were, which honestly, at this point, I don't think they ever will. I mean, is anybody ever going to look at hand sanitizer or toilet paper with complacency? No. So, a lot of the things that we took for granted, I think, are uh, to be really appreciated. Um, so I think the new normal for me as a person, me as a business owner, is just this relentless uncertainty, complexity, the multidimensional impact with no end in sight. I
Yeah.
think that's what makes it really hard, because if it is a very acute short-term stress, we are, I think, better at handling that. But I think when you don't have an end date
Yeah.
on this situation, that's what makes it really hard to cope.
Yeah.
Uh, I think the other, which is kind of like a positive aspect of this, is realizing how connected we all are. That has been amazing to me. I think intellectually we understand that theoretically, we use the terms, it's a global village, but I don't think any of us have truly lived our lives like our lives depend on somebody else outside our own silos and our own bubbles. So, to me, I think it's fascinating. It's almost like the yin and yang of this new normal, is that, wow, this is such a horribly stressful situation, but I am so globally connected that I feel, I can get through this because
Yeah.
I have the support of a community.
Yeah, humanity and
Hmm.
each other, and I totally
Yeah,
see that as well.
yeah.
You are somebody who's spiritual in nature,
Hmm.
and you practice mindfulness as
Yeah,
just an everyday practice.
yeah, yeah.
But how has this affected you personally, and how are you coping with this on a personal
Oh
level?
gosh, yes. So, it's funny. I do meditate every day, but man, is it hard to really meditate when things are actually so incredibly stressful. So I realized that this is the time when a lot of the values that I hold dear, like personal resilience, optimism in the face of adversity, motivating others, everything is really being put to the test. It's one thing to say those things, be able to do those things when everything is fine and hunky dory. It's totally another to live by those.
Yeah.
when the going gets tough. And I feel like I am really looking at this as a time to really just build my own inner resilience. So I am meditating harder and more consistently than before. Um, I definitely have turned to the things that are, comforting for me, like reading, and, hanging out with the family, and, really just enjoying that downtime
Yeah.
with no guilt for after a very long time. Because as entrepreneurs, it is hard to take that downtime. So I'm trying to really just focus on the little silver linings. And the one thing I am doing is consuming media and information very, very carefully and consciously. It overwhelms me when I see the dialogue between people. It tends to get sometimes very hostile. At other times, it's very supportive. Um, it runs that gamut. So I've been very conscious and mindful of how I consume information. So that I don't get overwhelmed, but I'm staying up to date and I'm staying connected, but nothing beyond that. Um, and finally, I have really become very introspective and really deepened my gratitude practice. You know, starting every day and ending every day with focusing on all the things that are okay, because I think we are still in a fortunate position of having the resources and the support to get through this time, and so many others don't. So I've deepened my practice of gratitude as well.
Yeah. What a brilliant point. Well, a lot of brilliant points there, but I hadn't really thought about like taking the guilt away as an entrepreneur of
Hmm.
downtime. And it's
Hmm.
so, so, so true. I don't remember the
Yeah.
last time I had downtime. It never
Yeah.
occurs. And there
Yeah.
is sort of that subtlety that's always there right now, well, for the last week or
Yes.
so,
Oh, absolutely.
where you're so in a sense, even though it's filled with so much chaos, your
Yeah.
mind is also a little bit clearer in other ways
Hmm.
because of that downtime.
Yeah.
It's not always
Yes.
focused on the best stuff, but it
Yes.
is it's there's a little bit more clarity there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's brilliant, for sure. You also mentioned, we spoke earlier about like really being tested on what's really important and
Hmm.
what values you place
Yeah.
onto things, and I
Yeah.
see that as well. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
gratitude.
Yeah.
What is some of your brilliant advice, if you would? I can always count on you for that. That you can give those of us watching, and how can we, put some of
Yeah.
this into practice in our own lives?
Um, as are you talking about as an individual or as a business, for my business?
I think for my business, I think
Yeah.
people are wondering what
Yeah.
to do with marketing and don't
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That is a tough one, Carrie. I'm going to be honest. I think the first thing I tell myself every day is that we will get to the other end of this. This is not going to be the permanent state of affairs. So we don't know when, but there is going to be a rebounding after this. People will rebuild the economy. We've seen this happen time and time again. So I know that while the end is not clear of the situation, but I do know it will pass. So, in the meantime, I also remind myself I'm not the only business impacted. In fact, last week I had this thought, hey, maybe if I didn't have my own company and I was working in a corporate gig, I would have a steady paycheck. But guess what? There is no job security for anybody right now, right? There are, companies talking about layoffs, so everybody's feeling jittery. So while I wish everybody wasn't feeling that way, I think selfishly it makes me feel that I'm not in this alone. Um, and there are people that I turn to when I need some optimism, some perspective. That helps a lot. But there are companies, and we are trying to do this too. We are trying to figure out if can we do things virtually. What would
yeah,
that look like? Luckily, we do have a client who's willing to pilot that with us. But I do recognize that's not an option for everyone. So I'll go back to the point that when you don't know what the future holds, when you don't feel like you have control, take that gift of time very, very seriously. I think as business owners, there is always stuff that we can invest in for our own growth and development. There are free online classes on how to innovate, how to grow your company, on entrepreneurship on Coursera.com, which I love. So there are lots of ways in which you can really invest in your own growth as both a small business and as a business owner and as a leader. I think regardless of where you are, in the hierarchy of a company, we all have to act like leaders at this time. So don't take this gift of time lightly. And by the way, for some people, it may be that this gift of time is meant for you to prioritize taking a complete pause and
Yeah.
focusing on your health, right? So whatever that looks like, however you want to use the gift of time, realize that you have a gift and spend it the way you want to spend it. Um, and I'd say the third thing that really just helps me is I always go back to the why of our company, right? Because the why, like, what excites me about my own business, what we help our clients do, which is tell timeless stories, is very inspiring for me. So, and I know that there will always be a need for it, and it's just a matter of time before we get to help clients with that. So when I'm actually feeling down, I look at our vision board, I look at what we have planned for the future, and I really tell myself this is just a temporary pause. It's not like my business is collapsing.
Right.
And I would urge others to, if you've not taken the time to really do that deep vision setting and defining the why of your business, take the time to do it now. So again, we are in this together. This is not impacting some versus the others. It goes back to my earlier point of we will rise or fall together. So let's just hold hands. I think anxiety is contagious, but so is optimism. So I
Absolutely.
think the more we can uplift and inspire each other to keep soldiering on, we'll get through this.
Yeah. Well, we have no choice. We have to get through it.
Yeah.
And brilliant. The gift of time. That one
Yes.
statement will be with me throughout the entire course of what's happening. I may have to call you every once in a while for a reminder of what
Please
the
do.
gift is.
And trust me, you've also caught me on one of my better days. So it's not like I can sit down and do this.
Yeah.
There are definitely moments in the day when I get overwhelmed, and then I have to just pause and again like reground myself.
There's
Um,
comfort in that too, though, because
yes,
I think that a lot of us who do try to live with optimism and
yeah,
vigor and trying to always
yeah,
move ahead,
yeah,
we just naturally think that we have to put it on all the time, and we feel like that most of the
exactly.
time. But it
Yes.
isn't possible to do that
No,
right
it's
now.
not. It's not. And I ultimately think it's very damaging to just pretend that, you're not stressed, you're not overwhelmed, you're not worried, you're not losing it. You're not, I think it's very inauthentic and it's ultimately more harmful. So I think firmly believe we have to honor everything that we feel. And sometimes, yes, if I need to literally just watch some mindless TV to distract myself, I'm going to do that. I see a lot of articles being floated around on working from home. This this idea that we must remain productive. Don't be so hard on yourselves. Really, I mean, you know, this is unprecedented. It's a crisis. It's traumatic. So please be gentle with yourselves. I think we are all wired to be very compassionate to others, but let's start with ourselves. Let's be kind and compassionate with ourselves. Like there are days you're going to feel like crap and you aren't going to be, able to follow your daily routine. That's okay. There are days you're not going to care what happens to your business. That's okay too. But honor what you're feeling, and that's the only way to move forward. but we can't always sugarcoat everything and pretend that, you're not feeling a certain way either.
Oh, Padmini, the Dallas is so much better with you in it. Thank
Oh,
you,
Carrie,
thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much, Carrie.
much.
You're the best. I hope it helped someone. It definitely helped me,
It definitely
even
helped
just
me.
sharing all of this.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys, and stay safe.
Yeah. See you soon. And thank you. Thank
Bye.
you. All right,
Bye.
Dallas, thank you for tuning in today. We'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday, 3 p.m. live with Jenny Williams. She's going to be talking about our health in this crisis. Thank you again, Padmini. You're the best.
Yeah.
See you
Thank you.
later. Thank you, Dallas.
Bye.
Bye.